Hello and thank you for watching. This is STSC back again with LEGO Transformers Steelranok. A couple years ago, a bunch of us LEGO Transformer builders came together to celebrate the 10th anniversary of a guy named One That Is. He's a builder that greatly inspired me when I was little, so I have a lot of nostalgia for most of his builds. And so, when I couldn't quite decide what I wanted to build, I figured I might as well do another one of his characters. The original Steelranok was described as a Cybertronian tanker, but here I've kind of simplified it down into being a more realistic Earth mode. It still isn't based off any particular vehicle, but I feel like it convincingly looks like a kitted out semi-truck, something they'd use in the military maybe. The original Steelranok is a bit of a mess in the color department, so when building him for myself I decided to really simplify it. And I decided to go with light gray for the main color, though it is a little bit boring maybe. Turning him around so you can see how he looks from behind. I kind of like how these two slopes meet up to almost create like an implied rounded shape to the back, like a garbage truck almost. Of course, it's not actually really all that rounded. There are kind of these gaps here just for the transformation. But nonetheless, I do think it looks pretty cool. And just in general, I think this mode really skirts the line between sci-fi and realism pretty well. I really enjoy how Steelranok's alt mode looks in profile, though there is unfortunately a gap right down the center here due to the transformation where you can kind of see my finger through it. An interesting detail is that if you lift up one of his side panels, he actually has some interior space in there. So I guess if you wanted to store away something, you could. For a size comparison, here we have a minifigure. And here we have Halberd. That's all there is to say about this alt mode, so now it's time to transform. And here we have Steelranok in his robot mode, where he is very, very chunky looking. Now, the original model had relatively lean proportions, but I felt that with a name like Steelranok, he should be a chunky guy. One of the first things you'll probably notice is there's a lot more color now to help liven up this mode. I think he strikes a decent enough color balance, and while he might look like he's wearing colorful boots, I think it looks pretty cool. The original Steelranok had a chrome Rock Raiders drill as an accessory, but here I just decided to make his entire hand a drill instead. The original had a wrecking ball for the other hand, but I decided to just go for a gun. From behind, you can see the back of the truck pretty much flattened out into a backpack. This probably will bug a lot of people, but honestly I kinda love it. It just looks like he's got a giant shield back there, and I don't know, it really fits the vibe. On the original model, he had two little spires on his back formed from the wind vane, but here I opted to have the wind vane become the blue shoulder pads and to have the spires be the smokestacks from the truck mode. And I think that's a pretty cool look. For articulation, Steelranok's head is on a universal joint, which allows it to look up and down, as well as left and right. For a little bit extra range, you can also actually slide the neck to one side, and that could allow for a little bit more side-to-side movement, though it might look unnatural for some angles. The shoulder pads are on two hinges, allowing them to get out of the way, And then his shoulders are universal joints, which allow for forward and backwards and in and out, though they are a little bit hindered just by how chunky his shoulders are. Then at the elbows, he has a 90-degree bend and a rotation, kind of at the wrist, I guess. His hips are a little bit awkward because they're mounted so high, but they can go in and out. They can't really go backwards because they would hit his backpack, but they can kick forward a fair bit. Then at the knee, he's got a 90-degree bend. For a size comparison, here we have a minifigure. And here we have Halberd. I had a lot of fun building Steelranok. It's always enjoyable taking someone else's build and trying to put it into your own style. So don't be surprised if I do it a couple more times in the near future. But that's all I have to say about Steelranok, so I'll see you next time.